Jai Hind. Good evening. Trump, POTUS, the President of the United States, has done a coup. The declassification and release of John F. Kennedy murder files and reveal the role of some people who run the deep state and were involved in this killing. You'll recall that when Kennedy was shot, the person who shot him was also shot. And the person who shot dead this killer of Kennedy was also shot dead. What a planning, the chain being eliminated, like those thriller novels which you read. And there's another name, Gary Hill, if I'm saying correctly, who was linked to the CIA, who had told his friends that there was a section within which was involved in Kennedy's killing, and he had fled, and then he was also killed. So let us see now what the researchers, what the scholars, what the journalists who look at these files come out with and reveal what was hidden till now of Kennedy murder. And I personally feel that Trump has set up a precedent for other governments in the world to declassify such important files. For example, the files related to Netaji's disappearance and what happened to him after 1945. For long, it is being demanded in India that the IB files related to that should be declassified and released. There were other files which were released from the PMO, but the IB files, and which is IB equivalent to CIA, you can say in a way, those files be released. There's another file which historian Moore has referred to in his book on Netaji. A French government file which the French have closed for 100 years. And this is a file related to Saigon, of the last day of Netaji in Saigon and few days after that. Because there were many witnesses who said that he was seen in Saigon, though the plane crash story was on and he later on left with by a submarine. Now, what is so secret about it? Because the French intelligence never believed in the plane crash theory. So what is so secret in that? What will it reveal? That the French, who call themselves champions of liberty and free speech and all that, have closed that file for 100 years. Will the French government open that file? Similarly, I appeal to Putin that all the records of KGB related to the Soviet Union time, and particularly what concerns us more, are files related to Netaji's presence in Russia after 1945. The correspondence between the British Prime Minister, Nehru and Stalin on this, they should all be declassified and released. Because I remember Chitta Basu, the forward bloc MP, had made a statement from Moscow that he has found some documents which he is bringing and he will reveal in Calcutta in a press conference. But he could never reach Calcutta. He died on the train in between Delhi and Calcutta, which was again pushed aside as a heart attack. A file that was destroyed during Mrs. Gandhi's regime on Netaji's disappearance. What was in that file? Somewhere, at least, if the file is destroyed, it should be mentioned that what that file contained. Somewhere in records it has to. Or the files which are given to Muhammad Yunus by Mrs. Gandhi on Netaji. Where are those files? Besides that, the Indian government also must release that DNA tests, that graphs and all those things to public domain. Why hide them? A Gumnami Baba died. If he was a Gumnami Baba, so what problem it will create in the country if his DNA records come out into the open? Anuj Dhar and Chandrachur and all have been demanding that for long. They should be out. Will the British release all the files related to INA and Netaji, which they have not released till now? Will the British release the files of their defeat in Arakan in Burma at the hands of Azad Hind Fauj, INA and the Japanese army? They won't. But they call themselves champions of free speech and democracy and liberty and whatnot. Similarly, I would request again Mr. Putin, the president of Russia, kindly release the reports of the doctors who attended to Lal Bahadur Shastri ji during his death. What were their reports? What did those reports say? So that mystery also of Shastri ji's murder also comes out. And I also like the Indian government to disclose the reasons that why that cook of the Indian ambassador Kaul in Moscow, who served Lal Bahadur Shastri ji that night, was allowed to take voluntary retirement and go and settle in Pakistan, and we keep paying his pension from India in Pakistan. So I hope that in this world of openness, when we all talk of democracy, we all talk of liberties, all these documents and files, whether they are related now to Kennedy, which has come out, or whether it is related to Netaji's disappearance, or whether the papers are related to Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, I think they must come out in public domain. Along with the interrogations of the Hikari Kiken of the Japanese, which was the link between INA and Japanese army. Where are those interrogation reports of the Second World War? Why aren't they out? Why aren't they in public? Why aren't the interrogation reports of the people of Indian community who were arrested by the British in Singapore, Malaya, in Thailand, in Burma, are not in public domain? They don't even follow the 30-year rule which is there in certain respects, that after 30 years the full file will be disclosed. Look, I said the French put that Netaji file, for 100 years they closed it. Means something real they want to hide on the whole thing. They don't want our generations to know that history, to know that hidden truth. So I think a time has come. And I request you all that please fill your social media by making this demand. Start a movement in the country that all such files should be now open in the public domain. Jai Hind.